Yo, what was it like? Like when you were at the old place. Like, did you have any sort of interaction with Vince when he was there?
Yeah.
Like, how was Vince? Because obviously the story comes out, it's fucking crazy.
Which we all knew.
And then Vince just got who just dropped named MJF just said his name on AEW during his promo.
Once again, remember I told you about that trust and having tenure?
Yeah. Well, I feel like if you give that guy a hot mic, no one knows what the fuck's gonna happen.
Exactly.
But what was it? Because I feel like everybody kind of knew. Like, the way he ran the company was very like, if you're big, if you look a certain way, you're going to get the benefit of the doubt, whether or not you could wrestle good or not, etc. Like, it was more about image and selling T-shirts and shit. Like, what was your experience around Vince?
Not a lot. It
wasn't a lot, right?
No. Like, I've had like one or a couple conversations with him. I went to Titan Towers,
right,
and spoke with Laurinaitis and stuff. But and like literally was
a wild boy, that Laurinaitis.
They all wild,
allegedly.
But yeah, I've like been in the offices with them, like as the Hit Row crew, all together. Vince, I've only talked to Vince when I was like the Hit Row crew once again. This was like by the time they already let go of B-Fab, and it was just me, Shanti, and Dollar, and we were just all like just talking with them. Told us how like things are ran. It was like a little private conversation, how things are ran. This is where like what we do, what we don't do, things this like this, boom, 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 and like. I was like, I asked him a couple questions. I talked to him like a regular dude. Like, the thing about like with me is just like, I'm not going to like. I understand. I always respect authority. I came up in the military,
right? And
I know like my chain of command, and I understand those type of things and stuff. But like, when it comes to my job and my passion and something I've been doing for like 15 years, and like I'm super confident about that, and I exude that, and I stand on my work, and I'm always going to stand on that no matter who I talk to, whether I'm talking to Tony Khan, a Vince McMahon, a Triple H, a Shawn Michaels, it doesn't matter to me. So I talk to them straight equal, and like if you don't like, if I was never disrespectful to him, but if I'm always going to ask questions to inquire. And I'm also going to, I'm always going to like necessarily speak what I feel is like right. What I feel is like, okay, this is something I just want to know.
Yeah,
I can always acquire. I don't think anybody's ever going to question or like punish someone for inquiring to how to make their job, improve their job, and do better. And if that's like costly or anything, I'm like, okay, cool. I'm always going to find work. I'm always going to like,
right.
I feel like you can never be afraid to lose your job. That's how good you have to be. That's how like you never.
That's some real shit. If you're that good, man,
don't be afraid to lose your job.
Because you're gonna always land on your feet.
I'm like, all right, cool. Like I'm gonna make you feel like, damn, I wish we had him here.
Has anybody in the management brass over there now? Because obviously, Shawn Michaels, by the way, was just on TV with Sexy Red last night.
Shout out to Sexy Red and Shawn, because that was crazy.
Did you see that? She was in the van.
How did you not?
Yeah. That shit was amazing.
Shout out to them.
But has anybody reached out and just congratulated you since you got the title?
Oh, yeah.
Like, did Triple H shoot you a text?
People reached out.
Nice.
They show love. Like still, like I never.
You have so many friends over there.
Yeah, I never left with a bad rapport. Like even like I'll still Shawn Michaels and me still say like Happy Father's Day, Happy Birthday, and stuff like that.
That's pretty cool to have that.
Yeah.
Shawn Michaels is he's probably my number 2 favorite wrestler of all time.
Oh yeah, he's definitely one of my favorites. Like I'll still like send an emoji and an IG story to Paul Heyman, and he'll respond back. He's like, Paul.
What'd you think? I mean, listen, obviously you're an AEW guy, but did you? I was at the Hall of Fame when he did his speech.
I didn't get to see it all. I saw like once again Twitter clips.
Nah, man, I watched that whole thing unedited live, and I was just like,
barring up.
Well, me and my son were like in Philly, and I was like, man, it was like Friday night, and I was like, I'm fucking tired. We got into town in the morning. I was like, we got the Hall of Fame. Like, we can go do. I was like, you know what? Fuck it. We'll go to Hall of Fame, because it was SmackDown and Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And I remember like it ran late. It was like we left after. I think The Rock ended up going on like at the end, but remember just seeing the Paul Heyman show. I'm like, this was worth it because he was, man.
I feel like that man is always worth the price of admission.
He's the
in
GOAT.
anything he does.
What is it like having a manager or having a guy who, like a confidant who because to me, if I ever got into wrestling, that's the gig. You're able to, you know how to take some bumps. You get to talk your shit, but you don't get fucked up in the ring. But now you have a man. Like, what is that like? Is that pretty cool?
Nana's my first ever manager I've ever had in my career. Like,
that's what I'm saying. Like, now you have a guy, anybody, not just anybody can get a guy. That's, you know what I mean?
Well, like for me, I feel like it's like what is me and Nana's relationship to one another? Is he a businessman? Is he does he get contracts done? Is he a sleazy little like like a little guy that like little muppet that runs around? Like what is he? What is his relation to Swerve, and what does Swerve need? Those were the questions that I asked myself. I'm like, why does Swerve need Nana? What does Nana do for Swerve that Swerve can't do for himself? Well, like now we're just asking those questions. Now there's a multitude of things he does. He kind of does my bidding for him. He's also my moral compass if you notice certain things. He's like, no, not right now, boss. Let's go. Let's get out of this. Because like I'll pop off and start a fight and do some wild shit right then and there. But Nana's like, nope. We got bigger things to handle. Or like, hey, there's some news I need to talk to you about that happened on Collision, by the way, that you might not know. Okay, so now he's my ear to the streets too. Then he's like, you're in trouble. Here's my head, my crown. Use it. Okay, so he's also like this. Then like Tristan's trying to drive off and leave him. Nope. He's also a guardian angel. So like I define him on many different things. He's also a music person. He's been in my music videos and stuff like that. So he's been on interviews with me. So he has a multitude of different uses and stuff that bail me out when like I'm being overwhelmed. Was that your idea, or did Tony say? That was all Tony Khan. That's dope. That was all Tony Khan. Tony Khan was like, I want to do a merger with Mogul Embassy, with Mogul affiliates and the embassy, and bring you two together because I think we want to get them on All Elite Wrestling TV because they were doing a lot of Ring of Honor. Right. And I think you could use heaters to be around you, and I think Nana and you complement each other very well. And I was like, okay. That's what the boss wants. That's what we're going to do. Now it's like, how do I blow this up to more than just like, hey, hi guys, we're all sitting. Doing? I guess we're working together. Yeah, the teacher's putting us together to do this assignment. Like, how do we like? So we want to get an A, of course. Yeah. And I think our achievement is always to get an A, but we had C-level expectations, and I think we passed and exceeded. Yeah, I think we exceeded that because. When we first started, I heard some comments and like, Swerve doesn't need that. Like, what did these guys? What do they do? And then like it started growing. Then we started doing more devious stuff on television. Then I think that's where it really, really began. Was like, how do these guys interact outside of the ring? Like, because that's where a lot of fans like where you really become in tune with characters on television. How do these people react in real life scenarios? Right. That's real. Like how does Roman talk with Paul? Right. Like how does I think one thing for AEW was how does MJF and Adam Cole interact outside of this? All those like playing dodgeball, they challenging each other to drinking like alcohol back and forth, and then going on fishing trips. I was like, I feel more close to these guys because they're interacting outside of just the wrestling ring, so there's a little bit more to them. So when they do wrestle, you understand the dynamic, and you have more. It's almost like more than ever, the fans are in on like they're not just in on whatever they see on TV. They're in on the whole. Like if I can put it back to music, we see artists perform on stage, but what we really want to see is how they are in the studio, working in a song. We want to see that BTS, We want to see like the Hard Knock Life tour, It's oh, that's what they doing back there. Oh, that's why that's what made those artists. Yeah, that backstage movie was that backstage crazy. Yeah, it was crazy, and it's like I want to be a rapper because this is the life I want to see. This is what I want to experience, and like maybe some are doing stuff that you wouldn't do. And maybe some are acting the way that you anticipated them to act, but you wasn't sure. And now you're like, you know what? That's exactly what I would do. DMX would. That's exactly how I would be, like acting backstage if I was in that position, that lifestyle, and that like industry. And so now you kind of like connect with them a little more as people.